like an hour and 15, I think.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
And I have sniffed so much Yeti that my head immediately became shaped for a flat brim.
When did you know you really liked Cameron?
We became buddies like immediately.
Like
Once
right
we
off the
became
bat?
Friends. Yeah. Well, I had him on my podcast. It's the first time I met him, and he brought me a Hoyt bow. So how could I not love him?
I did.
What did you think when that happened?
I thought I made it.
I love it.
I thought I finally made it.
This is Tim Burnett with Solo Hunter, and you're listening to my favorite podcast, The Gritty Bowmen.
I just Randy Black Eagle.
That's it. Boom.
That's my.
That's how we roll. Just drop the mic and walk away.
I really like this course. Sean DeGray, who has been on here before, is funny, but it takes. I've set up 3D courses before, and to set up one like this, it's just it's an epic pain in the butt. But man, the courses were fun. It was. I had a good time.
And then, like today, cut charts. You were shooting 85 yards per the rangefinder, and Aaron's like, yeah, it's more like 80, 81. So we all changed to that. We're going to work on a Aron Snyder podcast.
Yeah.
An Aron only podcast.
Do
I'll co-host.
Yeah.
I'll co-host.
Be through Kifaru.
But this will be cool. I'm excited to have Aron kind of do his own thing, and it's real.
Oh yeah, no, it'll be good. It'll be fun for sure. So I'm excited. We'll probably start it in the next couple of weeks, trying to get it going before hunting season gets cranking.
All right, folks, welcome to the Gritty Bowmen podcast. We're at I'm here with Aron Snyder today. We're going to talk a little bit about, I guess, getting prepared for the season and the Total Archery Challenge, because this is Aaron's first Total Archery Challenge. We're here in Big Sky. It's the first Total Archery Challenge 3D you've been to.
Yeah, and I mean, I've shot 3Ds for, ever, but those were more of a structured 50 yards and in, where this one, not a lot of shots at 50. Most of them are farther, which I like, and we shot, let's see squirrels already, but the Sitka course today, which I would say wasn't the hardest in distance, was a lot more realistic to hunting shots.
Yeah.
Like off even terrain, trees or whatever, like, tunnels. It was cool. It was fun. We shot with Barklow too, which he's pretty funny guy.
John Barklow at Sitka. Yeah, it was a really, I feel like this does get you prepared for hunting in a way that, it's hard to do. I mean, you're just not getting the same scenarios in a typical 3D shoot or down at the range like we do at Bear Creek.
No, it's more, if I think a pro tournament tour shooter shot this course, some of them probably would not be overly happy just because there's the way that it's set up, the way that it's structured, the footing, whatever. Anyway, and obviously the altitude, if you're not in shape, you're really not going to like this course because, let's just face it, we came down a 45-degree slope today a couple times just to pull arrows after taking a shot. It was awesome. I really like this course. Sean DeGray, who has been on here before, is funny, but it takes – I've set up 3D courses before, and to set up one like this – it's just, it's an epic pain in the butt, but man, the courses were fun. It was, I had a good time.
And I've said this before, there's things that you learn when you come out here. It's humbling because you'll come out here and a lot of these shots are very much like the shot you'd be taking on a real animal, on a real mountain.
Yep.
Out west.
Feet, cocky wobble, cockeyed, whatever, off camber, whatever, angle.
Shooting through trees.
Yep.
You got obstacles in the way.
Yep.
Distances are longer.
Yeah, when I say obstacles in the way, they're not putting like branches straight in front saying fling arrows in front of it, but meaning you have to coordinate your arrow flight trajectory to the limbs. You got to duck down, whatever, stand on your toes, knees, yeah. And then you got altitude. I feel like I've been hunting because I'm fried because you are on the side of a ski slope the entire day. And we shot yesterday for, I don't know, we did 20 target course, I guess 25, whatever it was. And we both shot back tensions. Yeah, no, you shot the trigger and the back tension. You shot both.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
I shot just
when
the
it was
back tension.
super windy.
Before anybody says anything, we shot the hinge and a trigger, not a
Yes.
back tension. Sorry.
Yes.
I kind of lump it all together.
Well, and the other thing that I found, a few people that shoot lights out, they, they put arrows in the dirt, in the rocks. I mean, the miss.
Yeah.
I mean, and for a guy that's used to never missing because he's shooting in a more average 3D range or something like that,
You're going to miss here.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just that tough,
Well, I hardly ever
which I think is good for humility's sake.
I never miss with a rangefinder on a normal 3D course. I missed the pig twice at 92.
Yeah, it's
92.
kind of unexplainable in a way.
Oh yeah, well I just loft. But yeah, both of them over its back. We
Yeah.
didn't find one of the arrows. It's probably in Bowmen.
Well,
But
isn't that interesting though? That there's a couple things that I've learned on this course is wind. Wind, can throw things off,
yeah,
and then like today, cut charts. You were shooting 85 yards per the rangefinder, and Aaron's like, yeah, it's more like 80, 81. So we all changed to that because
Yeah.
you're like the algorithm in the rangefinder is not accurate.
yeah.
And sure enough, we all buried it in the heart with that. You put it at 85, and we're all spining it.
Yeah, and I was taking a guess because
We're shooting over.
probably missing
Shooting
it.
over, actually, because we played around with 83, 84, and we were spining it.
Yeah, because we were at 81. We were cutting the 810 line. And wadding them in there. And one of the things too, stacking pins. Like if you come to this course, I've got an 80. I've got a 7-pin sight. I got an 80-yard sight. I probably took 15 shots where I was stacking pins, meaning I put my 80 where my 50 was, or in the case of that moose, I had my 80 where my 20 was.
Which
So,
I could do fairly decent if I have a tree
yeah.
or a branch or something behind the animal where I put my last pin on there. Like I could dial my sight to 110, and we had like a 140-yard moose, and you're like stack it, one pin up from where you're at, and
yeah.
or 2 pins up. Well, you can just kind of look on that thing and go, well, that pin is on that tree branch.
Yeah.
So I move that other pin up to that branch and just settle in, and click, goes off and you're drilling it.
Yeah. Well, what today I shot.
But if there's no branch or it's skylined, it's just
little
a Hail
tougher.
Mary.
Oh, dude, that one shot I took it 145, I think, the sheep. It
Yeah.
was a bedded sheep, not a lot of square footage. You're aiming into a giant black chunk of tree, so I actually went 10 yards left and did the box method, and I'm going back, and I actually hit it pretty good on the second shot.
Yeah.
But yesterday it was weird. I shot the True Ball HT, the hinge style release, and I think you got it in your hand. And I shot all day just with that. And today, just screwing around with different equipment, they sent me, when I say they, True Ball sent me a new trigger release. This is the Execute. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't shot an index finger release in 10 years at a 3D shoot. And so I came in and I sighted my other bow in with that release. And I will say I shot my ass off today. I don't know what or how, what I ended up shooting, but I was on it. I mean, I shot
That's
really,
cool.
really well. Yeah, it's nice. I would say, because this right here, like you engage it, there's a button below the trigger that basically.
If you're on video, you can see it.
Yeah, you can. You push the button and it engages the hook, or it
To
closes
close.
it. Yep. And then on this, what's nice is there's a tension and a trigger travel. So I could stiffen the trigger up and take away all the trigger travel. And so for me, because I've been shooting a back tension, not a back tension, a hinge style release, I was punching it today. I wasn't executing it all the time correctly. In fact, a couple times where I was really working on back tension, that one I shot in the armpit, right? I shot low.
Yeah.
But, man, when I was just holding and then wham, and I hit. And now I Pearl Harbor mine. I sneak up on it. I make a hook so it thinks it's going to be taken care of, and I smack it. But, man, I was on today with punching. So I was excited about this. And this release, it's always nice to have something new come into play and not suck. And I was skeptical any time anything's thrown at me to try out, I'm always like, oh, and I look at and so when it pans out, this thing was pretty cool.
I used the trigger once today, and used the back tension for both Sitka course and the prime course, and took me a while to get the rhythm back, man.
You were killing it at the end of it.
Yeah, the end of it, I was like, dude, I drilled that rabbit twice in the kill zone at 70 yards. I was drilling the fox, I drilling the deer, drilling the pig. Everything was all good, but it took it's just like, I don't know, sometimes.
I think, though, what it is I am very anal about coming in and shooting.
Yeah.
And you don't worry about it as much. For me, it's a mental thing. If I don't get to shoot before I shoot a tournament or a whatever,
yeah,
it's like freaks me out a little bit because I want to make sure. And I came in and shot quite a bit early, and it took you about the same amount to warm up on the course as it did me, or say warm up.
No, you're right. Like
comfortable.
When we're out hunting, I should have got out here and shot this morning. A couple of rounds out on the practice course just to get warm, get my form down and all that, which I did at the other ones. But we were socializing this morning with folks, and I just didn't. And, yeah, it took me, 10, 15 shots to get into my rhythm. And, when you're hunting, you don't necessarily have that. But we're always practicing in the morning before we leave camp. Yeah. Or first chance we get, we're shooting at stumps and stuff to get everything flowing. But, yeah, it took me a while this morning, but finally got it back again. But I like this HT a lot.
I'm super, and it's hard for me to pick what I'm going to shoot this year after shooting that execute. I'm like, maybe I will shoot a trigger a little bit. But I was talking to Barclow with it. Well, we all were talking, but I shoot 2 fingers a lot. And shooting 80-plus pounds with 2 fingers on the back tension, I just straight got worn out yesterday. Like the last couple targets, I was pooped. But you shoot that thing, I think it's just going to matter of comfort. Like anybody shooting a back tension, took a long time. And you're getting – I will say, even though I only posted crappy videos of you yesterday missing – one, we were shooting far, but 2, you're shooting from last year at this time to this year is not even it's not even the same ballpark. It's night and day difference. You've improved quite a bit, and your confidence level.
Yeah. No, it feels really good to shoot with the back tension, and then when I go to a trigger, it feels good. There are things that I realize in this course and doing these shoots is really helping me learn. And those things are the bubble. Paying attention to that really, really matters.
Yeah, and making sure it's on second and third axis.
Yeah. And because when you're on these slopes and you're aiming at these different angles, if the bow is canted left or right and you don't have the level in place, you are shooting left or right like a foot.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I mean, on a lot of these shots, like people don't understand the magnitude, I guess you could say, 96-yard, whatever, elk, and it's sloping high right to low left. You're sloping high left to low right. You're trying to fight your bubble into the mountain. It just doesn't feel correct. It's almost like your sight's off. Something got bumped, and you're forcing it in there, and everything's uncomfortable. It also throws off a little bit of confidence, or it just you're just not psychologically in there. Where if you can get confident with your equipment, which is why you want to practice a lot before season starts, I think you're better off.
Yeah, it's like John Barclow said this morning. He said, it's like when you're out in the wilderness and you're following your compass, and you're like, I think my compass is off. He's like, you just always got to trust the compass. Yeah. It's like the bubble on your sight. You just got to always trust that bubble, because it's the difference between, in and
a foot in some cases or so. And
so that was an eye opener. The other thing that has been a lesson to maintain is my anchor spot and all that's pretty good, but what I'll do, I'll get tired, and I won't have my peeps lined up with my sight housing.
Yeah.
And it'll creep left or right. And so, I'm putting the pin on it, but at 70 or 80 yards, if those aren't lined up,
Yeah.
it's not a bullseye.
No, you start shifting left, right, top, and bottom, depending. Especially you start adding angles, uphill angle and downhill angle. It'll magnify things even more. I tell you, not to keep going on and on about one thing or another with this, fitness is another thing. It is amazing for me when we hike up, because you're climbing all day or going down. Climb up to a target. You got an 80-yard walk up to the target. I pay very close attention to this. You could have 6 people in a group, and you can listen to everybody breathing. How quick some of their people's heart rates flatten, how other ones keep going, breathing really, really hard. And you can see that if you're focusing, you can watch them. It happens in their shooting. You can see a good shooter that hasn't quite gotten enough recovery time to get his heart rate to flatten out. His shots, there was a couple times today where guys, not in our group, but a group right behind us, where I was like, a very solid shooter would wing one in the butt. And I'm sure it's because he's breathing hard and he's bouncing around. So that was another big one that you can see real quick.
Yeah, and getting steady and holding, there's some fatigue that comes when you're poking out at those long yard ranges, you got to have it dialed.
What was the farthest shot we took today? I know we took a bunch around 100.
You and I nailed that whitetail at 120.
Oh, no. That was 125.
We nailed it at 125. That's a small target.
Yeah, well, nailed it. I nailed it in the neck. I think you nailed it in the intestines, but that's still nailing it to me because
well,
not only do we not
it was
have
a little whitetail target.
Yeah, it was bones is what we call that one. Plus, we had probably a 37-degree slope, high left to low right, a canyon, and high right to low left is where the deer was, behind a tree with nothing really to pin gap behind it. So I was doing some up, down, trying to stack pins. Mm-hmm. And I was very confident. That was a good shot. We shot
140. We shot the ram.
145. Yeah, 145 was the ram.
You and Barclow drilled the sheep at 100. I hit him, but it was a little high. But we poked some long shots yesterday and today, and I'd say we were right in there.
Yeah, we did
kill shots on a lot of them, and some of them was foam. But
I think people don't understand too. It's not if you shoot something that far, and then you get up to a 50-yard shot. It's like a chip shot. It's like you have to double take because you're just so much more confident at that distance because you've been hitting things up farther ones. So, and again, the fitness, the bow setup, all that stuff comes into play, and it is packed around here right now. And you've got everything known to man, bow setups, recurve, compound, every pack company's here, every clothing company, every boot, tennis shoes, mountain bikers flying around. It is a busy scene here, and I can see why, because you cannot go very many places and shoot a course like this, and it eats people up. People change their entire setups to get ready for something like this. So
yeah, no, it's been pretty wild to see. And one thing that's cool is Aron and I have had. We were just talking about today, like 10 people come up to us and say they have lost somewhere between 50 and 100 pounds.
Oh, yeah. And when they come to me, because you're way more approachable than I am.
Yeah.
When they come up to me, and it means a lot to me because they went past the dickhead attitude or look that I have.
Right.
To thank me and shake my hand. And the one dude, he was about in tears. You could see he was very
life-changing
appreciative to meet us because it's changed his life. He said he would not be here today. He was that bad. He'd lost 135 pounds and he's running up and down the course now shooting.
Yeah.
So,
that's inspiring to us. I think that's been pretty cool, and the fitness does matter. What's been neat for us is we've done these courses both here and at I did it at Snowbird, and I could do these courses all day.
Yeah.
Up and down, take a break, eat some food, go back, do it again.
Put on sunscreen because I didn't.
Yeah, you got a red nose like Rudolph here.
Yeah.
But all that stuff, dude, it's very easy to do that. So, very happy about that.
Which is good because season is fast approaching, and I think we got you on an antelope hunt. We weren't anticipating where the second and third axis will probably come into play with that hunt.
How do you feel, Aaron, about going into this season?
Good. Frank and I actually were talking the other day. This is the most fit we've been going into season since I've known him for 3 years, and probably ever for me, just from the training. And when I say fit, my workout, routine is pretty plain Jane in the sense of, push-ups, pull-ups, abs, the whatever. And I do backpack cardio. But I guess what the biggest thing, hiking on those fishing trips, we packed in 70 or 79 pounds, 78 pounds.
Yeah.
The other day with Patrick, smoked it, just straight in. Normally there's a pretty big gap in my, okay, that was a check. And I'm feeling good. I mean, really good. So like you said, I was fine.
Yeah.
On this course, all these trips we've been doing. So
yeah, I'm excited. I feel better about my shooting than I've really ever felt. Well,
let's face it, you shoot the trigger fine. Usually if you struggle at all, it's the back tension or the hinge release. If you ever have any struggling.
I really wanted to, like today, it was very tempting to go shoot the trigger so I could just shoot better.
Yeah.
But I really feel like this gives me better mechanics and reinforces
good habits.
And so I'm like, it's so easy to fall back on the trigger because it's your old friend and it's something you're so easy and familiar with. But I feel like I said, it felt really good to get those last 10 targets or so and be drilling with this. And I almost want to put it down, but like I said, I think it's really helped me. I shoot well with the trigger now because of the back tension.
Yeah.
And I don't really feel like, and there's always this thing in the back of your mind, like if you fall back on the trigger again, how long before you develop those bad habits I've been cultivating?
Like picking up a beer for an alcoholic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm working really hard at these good habits. I don't want to fall back into bad. So
yeah, and I mean, when I get back, I'm just gonna shoot the back tension. No matter if I'm like, I think I might shoot the trigger, I'll shoot the back tension dang near up until season, even if I decide to set up a bow with a trigger or wrist.
I'm excited to get one of those because that does feel like some of the other releases I've used.
Yeah.
Where it's less of a temptation to pull that trigger. That one's a nice squeeze.
Yeah,
feel.
I got it pretty stiff. I shoot a stiff trigger to begin with.
What was it called?
With. The Execute.
The Execute.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I when I talked with True Ball when they said they had sent it out, I had a release from another company that was kind of like that malfunctioned.
Yeah.
And there's certain parts and components to that one.
It looks a lot like a Carter to me.
The Prone. Yeah, and
I mean almost.
I will say that the Carter I used collected dirt that was magnetic and locked the trigger up completely. So that was the first thing I asked about this one was, is it going to lock up, right? Or is it going to whatever? And so the one thing I did, I have two of these. One, I let the one sit underwater all night. And that was the great Corey Jacobson. By the way, I just want Corey to know I'm glad he can call because he certainly cannot shoot. He can shoot 40 and in. He's good.
It's all he's really needed.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Thank God he can call.
And it's like, thank goodness Aaron can shoot long distances because your ninja skills are.
We talked about that yesterday. I was like, yeah, it's easy to not still hunt so well when, they just kind of run out there and I shoot them. If I couldn't shoot so well, the still hunting would be much more important than it is. We had a fun time with him and Donnie yesterday.
We did.
Shooting.
I love hanging out with. Well, everybody here is just fun to hang out with.
Look at those little Peckerwood kids hanging on that net.
I know.
My dad would beat me to death if I did that. And that's fun. Bringing that up too, like focusing on your strengths and work on your weaknesses. Calling, I make jokes. I can call fairly well. I can shoot. I don't know that I can work. I think it's just genetic to not go slow for me. Like I just cannot. If I know it's there.
Aaron's got high speed still hunting skills.
Lord, I mean, when there's something there, I can go super sneaky or whatever.
Yeah.
But when I don't know, it might be a
Maybe-
solid 50 yards before I'm like speeding up again.
The thing with Aaron too is once the predator mode kicks in, like when you saw that mule deer in Alberta,
It's on like,
and
Donkey
you're like,
Kong.
you're looking and you're kind of being cautious and you're kind of and then boom, laser vision, you're on it, you move in so fast. And I'm like, it was obvious from 1,000 yards or 500 yards, whatever I was away,
Yep.
watching you through binoculars that, he spotted it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's true, too. Like, and I've always been pretty much exactly that way.
I was over there going, slow down, slow down, slow down.
And honestly, that part has never caught me. That
Yeah.
I've been fine with that. Just mostly because, like, when I saw that,
You knew the terrain. You knew what you could get away with.
I knew exactly. But what kills me is when I don't know and I'm like, look, glass real quick. Look around
You're
now.
playing
There's nothing here.
peekaboo.
I'm not too bad with peekaboo.
No.
No, mostly just for the situations that I've been in and everything else. I'm pretty good about not doing that. What I'm horrible at is throwing up the binos, kind of looking through the forest and walking too fast and everything running away. That's what I'm worst at. But
gear, I got to order some more gear. I got a little bit left to get this year before we go, but I'm mostly dialed in, and that brings up a good point. We have our gear list, Aaron's gear list, and the gear we recommend. We got it up on Black Ovis's website, so if you're getting some more gear and you want to, we don't put it on our show notes really anymore.
yeah.
We just put it all into the Black Ovis store. So, and what's cool with Black Ovis is it's free shipping, free. You get 10% off a lot of stuff that's up there right now for a while, and it's usually same day or next day shipping too. And it's a hunting company. So
Definitely has simplified my life because I know people, I love helping people out, but a lot of times, like, I won't be able to remember where I found something or how much it cost. So I'll talk to the guy on Messenger, look for it, grab that link, put it, and then share it back
REI
on Messenger,
or Amazon or
whatever the case. Yeah, backcountry, whatever. And then, so it does save, it saves me a lot.
And
of pain
they've
and
been
headache.
really cool working with us, Black Ovis, and anything that pretty much they've got almost everything except for a couple of items that, are they can't get, but almost everything is on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, there's a link on our website at grittybowmen.com. You'll see the link to the gear list there, and you go there and you can get all the stuff there. So especially if you heard about something from Aaron or this podcast, go there and get it.
Yeah, he's got pretty much everything on there. I think too, the gear wise or whatever. Luckily, I haven't had to. There's been a whole lot of swapping out of stuff too much on my basic backpacking gear list. There was there's a broadhead that I recently tried out that I may goof around with a little bit.
Yeah,
and then my sleeping pad, my headlamp. I got that new E-light. There's good things about the old E-light and the new one, but that new E-light. All those basic things, the Soto Windmaster. I don't think, I think I'm running with what I got on that type of stuff.
And all that stuff is on that site.
I get, sorry, that's what kind of was leading up to, like most of that basic kit that I run or whatever. Like I run a slick bag from Kafaru, and then I'll run, like I said again, the Windmaster. I use Aquamira, MSR Aqua tabs, or the Sterapin. All that's on there. That's what I should bring up. There's the Sterapin Classic, Adventurer, and something else, which
we only have the Classic up there.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, the Adventurer is the one that fails. So that's the gray one. The one Frank has is rechargeable, has a smiley face. That one's solid. The Adventurer is the one.
The green one.
It's gray and green. Yep. Yeah.
That one's.
Dude, I bet I've met 30 people that had it fail.
Yeah.
The Classic, I've never heard of one failing.
I've got the Classic now after mine failed, and so far I've used it as much as I did the other one, and it's still going. So, and you've had yours from like the beginning.
I've had a few different Classics. This is now the Classic 3, but I've had this 3 years, I bet 4 years since it came out. Whatever it was, I got it right after it came out. So
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as gear lists go, though, I think one thing Brian and I will probably do right before season starts. Brian's getting ready to head to Oregon, and I'm super busy. Is probably get our packs loaded up with full kit, and then kind of set everything out and do a podcast on the final everything we're going to use from bows, arrows, pack, backpacking, broadheads, boots, socks.
Clothing.
Yeah.
And that's something that people don't really know about is, Aaron and I have different opinions. Not everything, especially when it comes to clothing or boots. I mean, those are often individual preference kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, I like to wear vests. Aaron's not as big into a vest. I like softer boots. Aaron likes super stiff ones. So we kind of have different personalities, and there's certain things we each like. I like to use a GPS. Aaron likes to use a compass.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. The sock. Oh, I will say, not way off. Farm to feet socks.
Yeah.
I would suit the Damascus is I think the one that I got.
Yeah.
I actually bought a set and from I can't remember where, one of the mountaineering stores, and called and Kendall, and I don't know if Kendall picked them up because I suggested them or Kendall had them or whatever, but that's a hell of a sock because I usually use Fits and Darn Tough.
Yeah.
And the Farm to Feet, I've worn that one set now, I think 16 days straight. Not
really?
all day, but pretty close. You know what I mean? And when we do cardio to see if I can wear a hole in it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, pretty impressive, and it's a relatively lightweight sock. So that was one thing because the people have been asking me about.
Is that
socks.
on the gear page?
No, I don't think it is. It probably should be. He's got it on the website, the Farm to Feet, but I don't think it's on the gear page. So that's definitely one to check out.
So that's something like Aaron and I, like every time we come across something like that, we contact Kendall and we get it shifted over to our page so that stuff's on there, and we just keep it current.
Yeah.
Anything we decide we don't like anymore, we can pull off, put new stuff on. So, I had something I was going to cover. I was going to mention. Oh, so we got that. And then there's something cool going on. Aaron and I have been talking about this for a while. There's things that Aaron kind of at times wants to be able to have his freedom.
Yeah.
To just, tell it like it is.
Yeah.
Aaron Snyder raw.
Yeah, it's definitely nice sometimes.
So
let her loose.
Yeah, let her loose. And so anyway, looks like we're going to work on a Aaron Snyder podcast.
Yeah.
An Aaron only podcast.
Do I'll
co-host.
Yeah.
I'll co-host.
Be through Kafaru. It'll be at Kafaru or whatever. We'll probably call it Kafaru Cast. But the idea is obviously, one, to be able to talk about Kafaru, but two, for me to kind of give my opinion on certain things, whether it be gear, different things going on in the industry, and maybe shed some light, whether it be my own light or the actual light or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of things that happen in the industry that I don't think people are maybe aware of, that I wouldn't mind making them aware of. There's certain gear that I want to talk about. There's certain aspects of whatever. So I'm excited about it. And Frank's going to help me out on there as far as, being someone else to gab back and forth at. But, a good example, we were talking about a specific material that a clothing company entered into the market and put a lot of marketing into it. But I think what people fail to realize is that was in the backpacking market since 2007 or 8. Yeah. No backpacking or clothing company picked it up in the backpacking community until 2011 when they were about to file bankruptcy. Smartwool bought that technology from them for pennies on the dollar. Smartwool sat on it until 2013, till finally an outdoor company, a hunting company, bought it and pissed money away into marketing like crazy. It's the smartest, newest technology alive. Well, what they left out is that company almost went out of business because no backpacking company liked the technology. If you choose to like it, by all means, that's great. But I think you should be told the entire story of how I had some of it in 2008 along with many other backpacking people, and it was a substandard material.
Yeah.
Very good example.
Yeah, so, Aaron's going to be able to share his raw
people
opinion.
off, yeah.
Raw opinion on things that he hasn't so far. And the fact is, there are some people who really like Aaron and some who don't. Some who like me and some who don't like Aaron. And so let's give you guys a chance. All you people who really don't like me, you can just tune into Aaron.
Yeah, and the people that dislike me for whatever reason, I can't imagine why.
We got a comment today. Want me to read it to you?
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. I'm a fan of the podcast, and it's become very useful. I learned tons of things one would only get from years of hunting, so thanks for that. The only con I have is Aaron is a DICK.
No, that's horrible. I don't know. And I see some of that stuff.
It just happens, dude.
Well, and you got to wonder.
I get a lot of comments like, this podcast would be a lot better if Brian didn't talk.
Well, and then you wonder, like, for that, why do I got to be a dick? What did I do? But that's funny. Who knows why? Yeah.
We get that stuff, here and there. But This will be cool. I'm excited to have Aaron kind of do his own thing, and it's real.
Oh, yeah. No, it'll be good. It'll be fun for sure. That's why I'm excited. We'll probably start it in the next couple of weeks, trying to get it going before hunting season gets cranking. So,
but we won't change anything here at Gritty as far as me and you doing.
Oh yeah, we're still going a bunch of hunts and hop on together and everything else. We got a lot of hunts going on.
Yeah,
it's gonna be busy, but
be good.
We should probably wrap this one up because 1, I'm starving, 2, I'm sunburnt, and 3, I'm lazy.
That music's getting loud.
And I just learned 4, I'm a dick. That's funny. Oh dang!
It's been a good run so far.
Yeah, they're getting down there.
Sick of movie tonight. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the Gritty Bowmen. Stay gritty.
Later.
In 1907, only 41,000 elk remained in North America, and in 1950, only 12,000 pronghorn remained. Today, there are more than 1 million elk and 1.1 million pronghorn. Why? Because hunting is conservation. In 1937, hunters actually requested an 11% tax on guns, ammo, bows, and arrows to help fund conservation. That tax so far raised more than $8 billion for wildlife conservation. Altogether, hunters pay more than $1.6 billion a year for conservation programs. No one gives more. It's obvious that hunters care about animals, and yet we actively hunt and kill them. Many people cannot understand this dichotomy. How can we both care about animals and also kill them? It's a question that I challenge all of you to consider. Here is an excerpt from the Gritty Bowmen film, Alberta, with a quote from Fred Bear that describes my feelings on this subject. The first shot on this buck was fatal, and it cleanly pierced his vitals, but he didn't go down. I hate to see animals suffer, and when possible, I will always shoot them again if I have the opportunity. I have tremendous respect for this buck and his will to survive. He didn't go down easy, and I have mixed emotions about that. At times like this, I am reminded of a quote by Fred Bear, which somewhat describes my thoughts on this matter. Quote, I have always tempered my killing with respect for the game pursued. I see the animal not only as a target, but as a living creature with more freedom than I will ever have. I take that life if I can, with regret as well as joy, and with the sure knowledge that nature's way of fang and claw and starvation are a far crueler fate than I bestow. I do not hunt for the joy of killing, but for the joy of living, and the inexpressible pleasure of mingling my life, however briefly, with that of a wild creature that I respect, admire, and value. We can argue as much as we like, but the fact is, hunting is man's oldest and most successful try at life. Every human being is alive today because our ancestors hunted. So it's a relatively new phenomenon for people to regard hunting as a cruel and frivolous activity that has no worth outside of personal gratification for the hunter. The funny thing is, hunting has increased my appreciation for wild animals and wild places, not decreased it. And as I watch society lose its ties to wildlife and conservation, I feel my bond with nature grow ever stronger in direct correlation to my time spent hunting. I understand now more than ever that hunting is the greatest hope for creating the next generation of true conservationists. Never stop sharing your passion for hunting in the outdoors. Our wild animals and wild places depend on it. As always, good luck on your hunts and stay gritty.
This is Ty Stubblefield, and you're listening to the Gritty Bowmen.
Gritty Bowmen.